Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cruising Israel. I'm your host, Natalie.
And I'm Max.
And this week we have a very special episode prepared for you guys. We are going to be filming in Jaffa.
Oh? The whole episode is in Jaffa?
The whole episode.
Great.
And I don't know if you know this, Max, but Jaffa actually goes back thousands of years. It's an ancient city.
Yeah, there's actually been a lot of different civilizations that have made Jaffa a very important port throughout the ages.
That's very true, but the first thing we're going to go see today is, if you're in Jaffa, it's extremely recommended to go visit this museum. It's called the Ilana Gur Museum. It's overlooking the sea.
I've heard about that. There's like hundreds of pieces of art from all different styles and techniques.
It should be very interesting, and I'm super excited.
Great, so we going there now?
Yep, let's go.
Let's do it.
In the historic part of Jaffa, overlooking the shoreline, sits a one-of-a-kind museum, which houses all the beautiful creations of renowned Israeli artist Ilana Gur. Go, Max. The Ilana Gur Museum combines art, design, and history and boasts over 500 works of art from her personal collection, as well as pieces by her favorite artists from around the world.
I'm a collector and I'm an artist. I make clothes, I make jewelry, I make furniture.
Each room features creations from different places and time periods, with each work of art telling a story of its own. Wow. Each room is more impressive than the next. Abstract art, unique furniture, and bronze sculptures are just some of the many things you'll find at the museum. While it's become one of Israel's premier art destinations, it's also Ilana's personal home, which she opened up to the public in 1995.
I didn't plan it as a museum. It was my summer home. I live in New York. I always say, if I ever come back to Israel, I would like to live in a city that Arab and Israeli work together.
The multifaceted artist moved to the States at an early age to pursue her artistic career, quickly becoming a hit in the art world. Many successful exhibitions later, she moved back to Israel.
It all started in the end of 1970s. Ilana was missing Israel so much, and she decided that she needs to purchase part of the building here in Jaffa.
Her collection grew and grew until Ilana decided that she couldn't keep her collection to herself any longer. So Ilana was inspired by other Israeli artists, and that's how she started collecting a lot of art and bringing it into her home, and over the years it turned into this big attraction.
I can say that she is inspired by any forms of art, by craft, by designs. For her, it was like building some new surrounding with, and filling it with the things she loved.
The structure of the building, how far does it date back to?
This building was constructed in 1742, so in the 18th century. Yes, it's quite old.
The building served as the first Jewish inn for pilgrims on their way to Jerusalem. And today, it still features some of the original fixtures and furnishings.
This was the first Jewish home in Jaffa. The biggest was built by the Turk and outside of the city of Jaffa, outside the wall. When you go downstairs, you'll see a broken wall. This was the wall of Jaffa.
So take a look at this.
Wow.
Yes, it's
So many bugs and spiders. It's not really what you'd expect when you see a dining room table.
Yes, it's kind of a dark table, yes. It's Ilana's installation, which is called The Morning After. What do you think happened here? The morning after what? Maybe it's kind of apocalypse.
So I'm seeing a lot of different styles of art throughout the museum. It's very eclectic, beautiful pieces.
For example, take a look at this piece. In this piece, Ilana talks about her childhood. She grew up in Tiberias, next to the Sea of Galilee, in northern part of Israel. Instead of going to school, she used to spend lots of time playing with animals and nature. So you can see actual pieces of agricultural tools, plows.
What is this all made out of? Like recycled materials?
Yes, she uses a lot ready-made materials, and also this is wire. You can see iron, you can see wire, you can see actual plows, actual tools, wheels, that all the materials that she finds and then combines.
Beautiful piece, and it's the first thing you see when you walk into the museum. So here you could really see that she loves to combine all these different kinds of materials.
Yes, to play with them, to show us the textures, to combine something industrial with something organic, like this fur and the wood.
Look at the difference between these two pieces up here.
Yes, both chandeliers were made by Ilana, but this kind of wooden piece and this piece, this huge piece, reminds a spaceship or maybe a lamp in an operation room.
Ilana's captivating works of art have attracted some well-known and highly regarded people worldwide, including Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, Bill Clinton, and the Dalai Lama himself. The rooftop sculpture garden was a sight that can't be missed, offering a view to remember. Up here you can see a wide view of Jaffa's majestic port.
I choose, I hang, I collect, I support, and I'm the one who say what is and what's not.
You know, Jaffa really has turned into this really hipster, cool area.
That's true. It seems like every time I go down there, I see bars and restaurants packed with young people out enjoying.
And the interesting is that these restaurants are situated in hundreds of year-old buildings.
That's true. And yet, there's so many new places opening up all the time. I never know
Beats the new.
Where to go because there's so many options.
Anyway, Max, do you like art?
It's
Do you
okay.
like
I wish
cocktails?
I knew a little bit more knowledgeable about art, but it's okay.
Do you like drinking cocktails?
I do. Maybe if I didn't have so many cocktails, I would know more about the art.
So how about we combine the two?
Cool. What you got in mind?
We are actually going to a place called Beit Kandinov,
Oh.
and it provides for you alcohol, some nice beverages, and high quality bar food.
Serving food.
All while looking and observing, exploring some art by different Israeli artists. Okay?
Cool. That sounds cool. Let's check
Let's
that
go.
out.
The city of Jaffa has so much to offer: a bustling nightlife, quality restaurants, and unique galleries. Today we're going to go visit a place that combines all of the above. Beit Kandinov in the heart of Jaffa is housed in a repurposed historic home. With no remodeling done, the owners managed to transform what had been a derelict structure into a vibrant resto bar.
It's a great place, great atmosphere. I like the food.
Throughout the bar, you'll find a few rooms showcasing local artists and hosting exhibitions featuring a variety of interesting works.
I really like the art, and they switch sometimes, so I come every Sunday and I see some new things.
So this is the kind of place where you could let out your fun, artistic, and your hungry side, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How did you guys think to bring all these fun activities together?
I think we thought before we opened it, we wanted to combine between art, food, and hosting, and of course the bar. We thought of both sides of it, that the art side is always a bit very mellow and very chilled, and sometimes you have the feeling that people want to lift this idea.
And Tel Aviv is a perfect place for that because there's so many artsy, creative kind of people, so it only makes sense to add alcohol in the equation.
And especially Jaffa, I think.
Yeah. As soon as you walk in, you see the original arches and stones, serving as a reminder that the bar was once a road leading to the city center.
The building was, it was from the beginning of the 20th century. It was built by a Bukharian family. The studios that we have here for the artists used to be the stores, and the family used to live upstairs.
Today, Beit Kandinov has a stylish and modern design that reflects its ties to the art community. So not only does this place have an awesome bar, restaurant, but they provide a studio for the artists as well. Let's go check it out. During the day, the studio is occupied by young, motivated artists whose art then gets showcased in the bar's gallery.
I'm currently working on this piece, and this is the most recent piece. It's an oil well. We'll be showcasing the paintings in December, and then there will be an art show probably the first week of December. And you can come by anytime and see me working until then.
It's really cool that they provided a studio for you here, a nice little working space.
Yeah. And as I started this, it reminded me of Tel Aviv.
How exactly? I'd like to know.
Because when I think of Tel Aviv, the energy's very high here, and it's like non-stop, and it's fun and loving. It's always so bright here to me, and people are so kind and loving that it just brought that, this painting brought that energy out.
You'll find all different styles of art at the bar, ranging from oil paintings to photography. So your photos were taken here in Israel?
Yes, most of them here in Israel. I very like to shooting here in Tel Aviv. The concept is California, 70s, very, very sexy girls, very, very sexy situation. I have also my gallery, and we are around the world. We've been in New York, in Hong Kong, and now we're here in solo exhibition here in Tel Aviv.
So for those of you who like to admire art while sipping on a cocktail, this is the place to do it.
All the cocktails that we made here, we wanted to feel, I don't know, something to do with Jaffa. So we made it, we use only spices that are from Jaffa and that really goes well with our kitchen. So we're gonna make two cocktails. One is called Made in Jaffa. Now we're gonna use our local arak, actually from Ramallah.
The cocktails pairs excellently with the ceviche and calamari that was served for us. This looks like some real quality bar food.
Yeah, we have a chef that made the food for us. It was really important for us not to make the regular bar food, to bring it up.
You know, Natalie, it's been an interesting time in Yaffo so far. We've got to see some cool things, taste some cool things. But, you know, what we really haven't touched on is
The history, right?
Yeah, the underlying history.
The most
of the
important part, the reason why people come from all over the world to Yaffo is because of the history, yeah. We're actually going to Kikar Kedumim, Kedumim Square.
We've been there before.
It's in the center of Yaffo. It's a beautiful place. We're gonna go below ground, 15 feet around, and see the excavations that went on in the 40s at the visitor center.
Let's check that out.
When you're walking around here in the city of Yaffo, you can really get a sense of the history that took place here, and it's no wonder it's kept its reputation of being the most visited cities in the country for thousands of years. Today we're going to go about 15 feet below ground to check out Yaffo's visitor center. In the heart of Kedumim Square, Jaffa's visitor center is set up within an archaeological site which reveals 3rd century remains. So Yaffo is all about its layers and layers of history, and here at the visitor center you could really soak up everything that went on all those years ago. So tell us about the area that we're standing in right now.
So we're right in the heart of the old city of Yaffo, which has a history of over 5,000 years. It's one of the most ancient cities in the world.
Throughout history, Jaffa was always a very popular city due to it being the only gateway into the country, making it the most desirable city to be conquered by many empires. So many empires have conquered Yaffo, many empires have fallen. So what are some of the things that have been found here during the excavations?
Well, this site is a good example. It's an excavation site that goes back already to the 1950s, and it's a good example because you can see 2 different layers, 2 different civilizations who've been to Jaffa. One layer you can see here in the bottom, this is Hellenistic or Greek construction. Used to be a small commercial center, and the shops went all around it.
The center eventually was covered up with sand, and a few centuries later the next level was built right above it by the Romans. Why haven't the excavations dug deeper into the ground?
We assume under this that we can find more ancient remains from previous civilizations or cultures. Still, it's always a question of time, money, funding. Going further down under this could also jeopardize what already has been found. Also, archaeologists today usually leave something for the next generations because we know in a few decades or a few years we'll have better technology and better means for excavation.
Down here at the archaeological site, the story of Jaffa unfolds on screen against the backdrop of the actual ancient stones discovered in the excavations.
Okay, so now we're on the Roman level of Jaffa and we've entered a house, a very ancient house with some very interesting artifacts found in it. This is the first one. It's a stamp stone. It's a mold for producing stamps and weights. It also mentions a date, the 9th year of the Emperor Trajan, one of the Roman emperors.
Apparently, the resident of the house was a pretty wealthy man. The artifacts included glass bottles, which indicated wealth and luxurious living.
It's a very good design. I mean, this is something you can still find today at any perfume or cosmetic shop.
Other artifacts that were found included ceramic vessels, a stone table, and mugs.
These usually indicate Jewish life because according to the halakha, the Jewish religious law, stone does not absorb impurity or stays kosher.
This room kind of gives me the feeling that we're sailing the Mediterranean or something with the sound of the beach waves and...
Well, that's exactly the point. It's designed to feel as if you're on the pier, entering the country through the port of Jaffa, which is where everything begins.
Because it was the only entrance at the time.
Because it was the main gateway into the country, yes. Now here's something interesting. This is an old painting of Jaffa. This shows us the old city back in 1860, maybe 65. What's interesting is that you can see the old city here, and just north of it you can see Tel Aviv.
As you all know, Tel Aviv wasn't even in the plan back then. Wow, this is Tel Aviv. It's just sand, sand, and more sand.
That's Tel Aviv.
Nothing else. Completely opposite of what we know.
Exactly. So you can see Tel Aviv is as young as Jaffa is old.
Okay, back to the surface.
Yeah.
So this is a really beautiful kikar, a beautiful square.
Yes.
Tell us some of the things that we could see from here.
It's called Kedumim Square. It means the square of the ancestors. It's named this way because of the ancient remains found under the square. There's the zodiac fountain, just over there in the corner, which shows the 12 zodiac signs. It's a repetitive motif here in the old city.
From any point of the kikar, you can see the St. Peter's Church, which commemorates St. Peter's visit to Jaffa. So tell us about this church. It's an active one?
It's an active church. It was built in the 1880s, 1890s. It marks the Christian connection of Jaffa.
At that time, many churches were built in the area of Jaffa as it was the main gateway into Jerusalem.
In the New Testament, we can read that Peter visits Jaffa, spends the night in the old city, and has a very important vision. From the vision, he understands that he can start spreading the new religion, Christianity, to all of the world's nations, and not only amongst the Jews, as it was before his night in Jaffa.
Well, the city of Jaffa really is a beautiful sight to see, from the narrow alleyways to the restored buildings. It really makes it a perfect setting for people from all parts of the world to explore and learn about all the history.
There's lots more to see. You're more than welcome to come again. It was nice having you.
Thank you very much. Well, that was really interesting.
Yeah, who would have known?
Go below ground like that and see a visitor center, which is set up around the excavations.
So cool.
Anyway, just a few steps away, I noticed a restaurant. Looks really nice. Restaurant Abraj.
Oh yeah, I spotted that place. It looked like they had a cool kind of patio thing going on out there.
Yeah. So what do you say we go and enjoy something to eat?
Sounds like
I'm starving,
just what
aren't
the doctor
you?
ordered. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's go. In the heart of the ancient square, right by the famous St. Peter's Church, lies a 100-year-old building, which today is a modern restaurant. Its historical setting makes it the perfect spot to enjoy a lovely dinner. We're checking out Restaurant Abraj. The restaurant is situated in the picturesque square of Kikar Kadumim, located within the midst of excavation sites dating back to the Hellenistic era.
Cheers.
The restaurant's setting offers a perfect dining experience for both tourists and locals alike.
It's so ancient because it's so beautiful. It's also fragile in some ways, and you want to maintain the integrity of the construction of this building and the form and style of it. You know, it's got the beautiful archways inside and this ancient stone.
This is my absolute favorite time to come to Yaffo. You know, during the sunset hours, at night here it's very lively.
Tel Aviv's trendy nightlife scene reaches all the way to Jaffa, home to some of the best restaurants and bars in town. And since we're right by the Mediterranean, it only made sense to try out this local seafood restaurant where the fish is fresh and caught every day.
I have to take a picture of this, show it to my mom.
This actually came from the Sea of Galilee. Looks amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, can't get fresher than that.
Absolutely not. Brought right to your table.
The owner of the restaurant, Moti Strakovsky, wakes up at the crack of dawn to collect fish from the Jaffa port and changes the menu according to the freshest fish of the day.
So there's a little bit of everything here. We have lots of salatim, which is very traditional in the Mediterranean diet and the Mediterranean style of eating. Big portions, lots of colorful food.
Our meal began with a variety of fresh, colorful salads, and my favorite, the delectable ceviche, which consisted of fresh fish marinated in lemon, onion, and red pepper.
I just want to put a little bit of every single thing here on my plate.
What really impressed me was the presentation and the generous portions of the fish and seafood served to us, alongside creative side dishes such as the beet puree.
Looks good.
And let's not forget the dessert. We enjoyed the traditional Middle Eastern knafe, which is a cheese pastry soaked in a sweet syrup, and some homemade cheesecakes.
So warm and fresh.
Moti has a very big passion for the culinary world and has opened restaurants around the country. He believes Jaffa is the perfect place to call home because so many groups coexist peacefully in this little city and has become a magnet for visitors worldwide.
I'm so happy we came here.
The table is like a party. No matter how many people are dining, the table is like a party.
Well, that's it for us this week, folks. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Cruising Israel. We couldn't be prouder to have you with us.
And don't forget to catch us next time as we cruise the country and show you all the beautiful wonders and hidden gems this country has to offer.
Bye.
Bye-bye.